welcome y'all to Backwoods Obscura, a podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris. How you doing, man?
Pretty decent. It's other than it's been a hell of a long week for a 3-day week for me.
I mean, for me, it's been a fairly normal week, and hopefully I did tell my boss about this podcast, but I hope he doesn't listen to it because, I'm very worried about...
Hi, Chris's boss.
Hi, my boss. So, this week, he got me to, change up our fee schedule and dropped a bunch of prices, and I'm like, this isn't looking good.
I have dealt with adults that don't want to follow procedures and then get mad because I didn't follow a procedure this week. I was supposed to organize a PLC. On the day of my PLC, two of my department members were out. One refuses to show up because of another one being in my class. He will not work with her whatsoever, and it's his fault 100% because he doesn't do his job. And the other one got called into the office to do things because he's being trained to be our replacement dean of students. So it was me and the other American history teacher. So I didn't schedule a meeting. And so today, 3 days after the meeting was to occur, I get a message or I get a phone call. When was your meeting? Usually it's Wednesday, but we didn't have one. Why didn't you have one? I forgot to send out a notice that we had a meeting. Well, everybody knows you have a meeting on Wednesday. Yes. You didn't tell us we were supposed to be having weekly meetings without administration until right before Christmas. And then you didn't tell us again until last week. So...
yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
It's one of those of don't get on to me for not doing my job when you as my direct supervisor do not inform me that it is my job. Not I fully said, this is my fault. This is my error. I didn't send it out. Do not put this on the rest of my team. This is me. Well, they all know. And my next response is, you know who you put in my department. Because right now, half of my department are people who have been noted to not do
what they need to do,
their job, not do anything. They are there, they are there to coach, and whatever class you give them, they will lip service. So so my thing is I'm not aggravated at kids this week whatsoever.
You're aggravated at the administration.
I'm aggravated at grown ass people. But hey, talk about grown ass people.
We do have a guest today.
We do have a guest.
I'm a grown-ass people.
You're a grown-ass man over here.
So, hey, Jed, how you doing this week?
Oh, my goodness. So you had a short week. You had a 3-day week because there was President's Day and Teacher in Service.
Yeah.
And you're a teacher by trade, by profession. I have 3 kids and own my own business. And so Monday, Tuesday, I just had 3, we're going to call them air quote helpers. At work, Monday and Tuesday.
You had work associates.
Yeah, my coworkers suck. They're horrible.
Well, to be fair, let's break it down. One is absolutely adorable and wonderful in every way.
We're not going to tell you which one.
One is a small wrecking ball who will not be small for much longer.
No.
And then the other one just recently learned not to need a diaper and wants to be the wrecking ball that the other one is.
On Tuesday, halfway through the day, I'm in the middle of a phone call with, I'm an insurance agent. I'm in the middle of a phone call with claims. I'm trying to convince them to cover things the way they said they would cover them because that's what my actual job is. If you wonder why you need an insurance agent, it's not because you need a face, because you can buy the insurance online. It's because you need somebody who speaks the language who's going to go to fight for you. So I'm fighting my butt off for a client of mine. And I have to tell the claims agent, hey, can you hold up 1 second? Because I looked out the window of my home office, and I have a shed in my backyard. It's 10 foot tall. And about 10 feet above that shed was my middle child in a tree.
Oh.
Just in a tree. Up there on the top of the tree where the limbs bend because you touched them wrong. All the limbs he is on are bending the wrong way. And I'm like, I've got to go. I've got to go.
My child is possibly testing Darwin's theory.
Give me 15 to 20 minutes. I got to go. I go outside. They're like, hey, boy, get down out the tree. He goes, why? And he's like, this is fine. I do this all the time. I'm like, it's not fine. It's not. I need you down. I need you down out of the tree. You shouldn't be 10 feet above the shed. That's not okay. It's a solid 20 feet in the air.
Yeah, it's either going to be you getting yourself down or it's going to be gravity. And I don't want it to be gravity.
You coming down is not the hard part. You coming down slowly is the hard part.
See, my thing is that luckily my son does not do that. However, since he saw yours climb on top of the swing set, he has now done that. But the problem is like my child got my coordination, but did not get my defense or HP value. So all of a sudden I see him out on top of the swing set. No.
What I appreciate.
And then he falls. You hear the...
What I really appreciate about my middle son's, he's strong enough to do the things. Like, he's all muscle, right? He's strong enough to do the things. But he'll climb on top of the swing set. But he doesn't walk on top of the swing set. He gets up there, and he's on top of the swing set, and then he will shimmy on his stomach to make sure he is perfectly balanced the whole time. And then where he wants to sit, he'll sit up, swing his leg over, and he'll just sit there. But he is as safe as he possibly could be the whole time. He's always super cautious about everything. But at the same time, he's doing stuff that feels a little dangerous. And I appreciate it because it's like he knows his limits, but he's 6, and so let's
actually phrase it better. Your son actually has a self-preservation note within him.
He really does.
Mine,
which is good for a 6-year-old.
Mine inherited my lack of a self-preservation, and like I said, he didn't get the defense value, and he didn't get the HP. So like when my son falls off of like an 8-foot swing set and hits the ground, he's just laying there looking up at the sky like, God, why? And I go, oh shit, you only got like 5 HP and you're down to 1. Shit, I'm sorry. And like I come over there, what'd we learn? He goes, ow. Like, that's a solid lesson. What are we gonna not do next time? Fall off.
So as the non-dad here, I have 2 dogs.
They don't climb shit.
But,
They don't climb shit.
But he, Artax
is a horse.
Artax would for a second decide that 15-foot drop between this yard and the yard next door is something I can make.
So I can say, Arthur fell out of a tree once.
Ooh.
Oh no!
And it was funny because he didn't hit the ground.
He just landed on a branch?
No, let me explain. Because he's climbing up a tree. It's a tree he climbs all the time. It's one that doesn't, like the branches he gets to don't bend as much, and so I'm okay with it. Go ahead, do your thing. You're a little boy, whatever. This is the only time where I admit to the whole boys will be boys conversation. Yeah. So he's up a tree. I'm doing stuff. I go inside, and all of a sudden I hear not a not a yell, not a scream for help, just a little help, please. a little help, please.
Hello, yes.
Good sir. Good sir. Might I receive some aid?
Please Daddy, come out here.
A little help, please. And I walk out there. I was like, did I hear someone requesting help politely? Like, what's going on here? I walk out and I get to the tree, and there he is. Like, he's a good 5 feet off the ground, so I can reach him. And a branch caught him by the belt. And he's just like dangling there like the very first Mission Impossible.
I was gonna say, he's like Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise just he can't do anything, and thank God he has a belt on that day. And I'm just like, I got you, bro. I'm 6 foot tall. You're within reach. Let's just kind of and you're off. And he goes, thanks. I was like, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm good. Did you get hurt? No. I was like, all right. I put him down. He goes right back up the tree. I'm like, okay. Well, I didn't learn anything, but
see, my son, like outside to him because he is his mother's child is an anathema because he will turn super red, and unlike me, who y'all both seen me lobster, and then like the next day, I'm slightly tanned. My son just blisters, and then it's miserable. So, like, and also I don't have trees, so I don't have to deal with that. So he's only fallen off the swing set a couple times. The big thing I've had to talk to him about, and I feel kind of bad about this, is he fell off the swing and he started crying, and he runs up to me and I look at him. Why are you crying? You fell 1.5 feet. You are not hurt. Stop being dramatic. And then my wife's like, you don't tell him that. I'm like, no, I'm telling him, don't cry over little things. Because if you run up to me crying over everything with the jacked up raising that I had as a child, I am going to just numb out. Like, I'm going to pay attention to nothing you run up.
You're
like,
going to boy who cried wolf it. And like, and that's okay.
And like, you could like eventually come around to me, one arm dangling loose. And because he's, like, Dad, it hurts. I'm like, fucking put some dirt on it.
Walk it off, man.
Yeah. It's only a little out of socket.
But
Here,
like,
do this.
But to be fair, to explain me, I had my arm broken and dislocated, and I was crying, and the whole time I'm in the back of a car holding my wrist that is halfway off my arm and watching it make kind of it's making a down curve.
Is it doing like the, is it doing a zigzag?
No, it broke here. So my arm then goes like normal, and then whoop, and then my wrist is dislocated. So it's like my hand's hanging halfway off my arm. So it's just like, I'm looking at everything that's just jelly in my arm, and I'm sitting there sniffling, and my dad, don't you cry, bitch. And I'm like,
yeah, that's a pretty toxic.
I'm over here doing like,
that's it. Yeah. Don't you...
And my mom looks at him, don't you tell him not to cry. Everything in his arm is broken. I'm over here going, everything in my arm is broken.
Like, that's two completely different mixed signals right there.
Yeah, it's just like...
You're supposed to process that shit.
Like, and then, like, my dad goes, it's not like they're going to have to amputate it. I'm like, they're going to have to amputate? Like, I'm sitting like, I'm
but
fucking...
they will if you cry.
I'm fucking 14. So, like being raised the way I was raised, like, I'm learning there's so much shit that probably was child abuse in my childhood. So, like, I'm trying to break that trauma with my children. But, like, every time he runs up to me crying, I'm like, are you bleeding?
I think one of those fun, interesting things about being a millennial parent is realizing some of the ways that you were raised were horribly wrong, and it is a trauma, and you need to break that curse.
It is,
but at the same time, you need to still parent. You need to still train kids.
I am going
to teach them things.
Well, the thing is,
can I say something positive
as the non-parent?
As the non-parent.
No, not knowing what you're talking about.
As the non-parent,
I got 2 dogs, motherfucker.
Well, hold on. Let's put it this way: as the non-parent that had 2 fully supportive, loving parents in their childhood.
When both you and your spouse are at work, where are your dogs?
The casino.
They're at the casino. Yeah, they're gambling. They're in
rolling dice.
Rolling dice.
No, they're rolling them bones.
Smoking the devil's lettuce.
Rolling the bones.
No, what I was going to say, there is something, like, you talk about millennial parents, like, millennial dads specifically are spend more time with their kids than any other generation in recorded history so far.
Okay, that's fair because, let's break this down. Jed?
Are you not a fan of that?
Fucking banana bread?
Yeah, a little bit of banana.
Dude.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So let's just say, like, from Jed to me to you, we have a very much a slope on the pie, or a slope on the chart of involvement of dad in our life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, my dad's not involved in my life anymore.
We're talking about childhood. Also,
you know what? Same. So let's go.
I have to deal with my own.
The thing is, yours died and has an excuse. Mine's a few hours drive down the road
and won't show up.
Look, jokes are my coping mechanism.
Maybe if I'm lucky.
I wouldn't call it lucky.
I wouldn't call it lucky.
Okay, so let's get off this subject.
Well, no. Let's finish this and then move into things. So what I'm trying to say is,
let's finish our trauma about our dad's podcast.
Our trauma thing is, you had a dad who, even though he's gone, is probably more supportive than what either of us have that are alive. Like, your dad was more supportive of me.
Future Chris is wondering why this is relevant to our horror podcast.
It's absolutely not, but we were talking on this, and we got on dad talk. But here's the thing. Your dad was more supportive of me than my dad.
Yeah. And see, Hewitt's dad was present.
Yes.
Present and tried to be supportive, but supportive.
Oh, no. Go ahead and get rid of that tried to be supportive.
Okay.
He was present.
He was present. He added
he was there.
The parental experience.
Listen, let me put it this way. There was a very long period because I did not date in high school that my dad would wake me up and ask me if I'm gay. And then I go, well, what if I say yes? You got to move out. that was.
I ain't gay then, motherfucker.
Well, then I know the answer to that one.
Look at
now
that.
I have a place lined up.
Look at him dead in the face. I love boobies.
Boobies and zombies.
Let me just talk about this for a second. Oh,
what the fuck are we talking about today, Hewitt?
So the segue for this is we have Goosehead Jed with us.
What's up?
Yeah.
We filmed a episode of Brouhaha. So this one is already off the...
Hilarious.
Anyone who... All the 10 people who listen to us, we also do Brouhaha, which is a beer podcast. Beer podcast or just like...
Beer VOD vlog.
Thing.
We brew mead, we drink beer, and we have fun.
And we eat weird food.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll travel out and just eat stuff, but Jed is one of our friends that does it with us.
And plays in TBA with us. And the reason that we were already here and we had time, and because we kind of need to also build up our
repertoire.
Our bank again, because we're kind of skirting the edge.
Mm-hmm. You know, it is it.
The segue here is we have Jed.
Yeah.
Not that long ago with Brouhaha, we all went to Hot Springs.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we've all been by this building that I have for
I know what building it is.
our episode. What building is it?
It's that big white one. That big white one.
I was going to say the old hospital.
Yeah,
No,
old hospital.
no. That one was going to require a lot more research, but it is on my list.
Okay, because like I went on a ghost tour in Hot Springs. I know what's going on in there.
So what I'm going to talk to both of y'all about tonight is a hotel I almost booked for us instead of the tiny home, because it would have actually been $15 cheaper. And that is the Arlington Hotel in downtown Hot Springs.
Yeah.
I know which building you're talking about now.
Yeah.
The massive, it's where Emily and I went for our last anniversary. We did not get one of the thermal spring rooms because those are currently being renovated. They're also like $400.
Yeah.
Because
shit, $400 between 4 people. I mean, we could do it.
Well, it's also that if you get the thermal spring room, is the bathtub is hot spring water, but also I think a massage or like something with the spa at the Arlington is involved. But the Arlington is located at 239 Central Avenue, Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas. 71901. It is at the dead end of Bathhouse Row. So if you're going down Main Street or Central Avenue, you're going to run in. Well, you're not going to run into, but you're going to terminate at the Arlington.
I like how I can actually visualize this.
So if you come into Hot Springs and you pass the wax museums across the street, but if you pass all the bathhouses and you're going down, the last current hotel in Hot Springs is the Arlington. There used to be 2 past it, but they're currently closed because the problem with Hot Springs is there's a boom. They renovate it and everything's open, and then very quickly they close down because all of a sudden nobody's going to Hot Springs again because it's like Budget Branson.
It is Budget Branson, but it's nice. Like what I enjoy about Hot Springs is that it's got this small town vibe to it, and it has the weird stuff that I enjoy, like it has the weird stuff I enjoy, like the bathhouses and the ghost tours and the eerie things, the bathhouse brewery stuff.
Superior.
Yeah, Superior Brewery and the distillery. Lots of fun stuff that I really like, but also is not Vegas or like one of those big cities that I can't stand because there's too many people.
Like if you go to New Orleans or if you go to like Memphis, even Memphis is still small.
Memphis isn't that bad.
I love New Orleans. I love it. I love the culture, but I've never been there and been comfortable with the weather. Every time I'm there, it's hot and sticky and gross.
The one time I've been there, I was super comfortable with the weather, is when I went to see Gojira in 2021. Mm-hmm. Strangely, around the tail end of summer, I think it was like August.
And you hit that cool snap.
It was warm, but since it's on Lake Pontchartrain and all the cold air was hitting New Orleans, so it was just cool the whole time we were there. So that was like the best time I had. Every time it was either hot, rainy, sweaty.
Yeah, it's not great for a big boy like myself. I sweat a lot just standing up. No, I don't need the heat to do that, and so like I've never enjoyed the humidity of the weather in New Orleans, but I love the culture. I love the atmosphere. But Hot Springs is a little bit further north, a little bit less that, and still has a lot of the fun, weird things.
It's like I'll put it this way: it's like Beale Street is a clean version of Bourbon Street. I do get kind of a New Orleans vibe going through parts of of Hot Springs. But the reason I say that is because there's a whole lot of Hot Springs that is touristy fictitious.
Yeah.
And when you go to New Orleans, you're hitting a lot of that, even though there's very cultural architecture. Now, my thing about New Orleans, because I think I've talked about it the most on the podcast, is I've been there every season of the year. The only time I have not enjoyed it was there was one day on Emily and I's honeymoon that it got up to 110 and we were walking.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the day that we would walk a little bit, pop into a place, get some water, get a snack, walk a little bit, pop into a place, get some water, get a snack. Mm-hmm. That was the most expensive day of my honeymoon. And it was because literally we were walking between places that we could get air conditioning for a minute because we walked the French Quarter.
A key note to people who are not from Louisiana, but in Louisiana for one reason or another and need to get pop in places and like cool off for a second. If you go to almost every gas station here, they have what's called a beer fridge.
Yes.
And that's free.
Beer cave.
It's
beer cave is great.
It's called a beer cave. It's free to go in.
You can jump in there.
You just walk into the refrigerated section that's just a big old walk-in closet full of beer. But you're not trying to buy beer. You just hang out in the cave, cool down a little bit, regulate, and then go back into the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll say this now. Like, if you're there, if it has a beer fridge, odds are you're going to find some pretty good food in that place.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair.
So you can get a refreshment, you can get some food, but anyway, Hewitt.
So let's talk about the Arlington again. The current Arlington that sits in this location is the third building called the Arlington in Hot Springs. The original building was financed by Samuel Fordyce, which has one of the bathhouses named after him, also a city in Arkansas. In 1875 as the first luxury hotel in the area and only the second in the entire state. So the Arlington Hotel was the first luxury hotel in Hot Springs, second for the entire state of Arkansas.
So wait, this brings up the... Okay, so how old is Hot Springs then?
Yes.
I did not bring that up, but Hot Springs has had, if you bring up, Native Americans have been there for over 3,000 years.
I mean, if you throw a stone in America, Native Americans have
been there for a while. I did not get when Hot Springs was incorporated, but Hot Springs has been around since the mid to late 1800s.
Okay. So.
Let's be honest, we're only really counting when the white people showed up.
True.
Fuck that. The indigenous people were there first. But then the Quapaw got kicked out, but we named a bathhouse after them.
So it counts.
That's a nice fucking bathhouse.
Yeah, but like it still felt slightly appropriative as we soaked in our own tea.
Yeah, we soaked in our own tea. We did go.
Okay, we did have to get out of one tub because we would have been soaking in somebody else's tea if we had stayed in that one too long.
They were getting a little bit frisky, if you know what I mean.
At least we were like in the other pool balcony away from them when it happened.
We were very nice. And if Idris Elba walked in, we would have been like, "Let's go on an adventure." Okay, we're melding things.
Yes, we are. Anyway, so the original building, it was a large 3-story wooden structure with 2 wings that wrapped to the back towards Hot Spring Mountain.
Okay.
Now, it had 120 rooms, a ballroom, and gas lights, which in the late 1800s was a luxury because you had light other than the windows.
Fancy.
Now, in 1880, an additional 100 rooms was built and a new ballroom was added, as well as electric lights, making it one of the most modern buildings in the entire state of Arkansas.
Can you imagine back in the day?
Oh, it's like you put in a fucking Edison bulb, and now you're the most state-of-the-art thing.
Oh wow! Look at this, honey. We got a little nice.
People ride their horses for days. We're going to go see the light bulb in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Taking the waters.
Oh, look at that! It's flickering. Oh wow, that's interesting.
Put your dick away, son.
Put your dick up.
Now,
I'll fucking punch it.
With the additional rooms built, it made it the largest hotel in the state and one of the largest for the next 3 states, with the exception of Louisiana. So Oklahoma and Tennessee did not have a hotel bigger than Arkansas, but Louisiana did because of, well, New Orleans and Natchitoches.
Because we're better than you in every way.
I'm not going to refute that point. Arkansas, suck it.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
With your Whitey ate your podium. Now, it had colonial-style porches that wrapped around the entire outside for people so that they can enjoy the fresh air and the hot springs. But also, there was no air conditioning, and everything in the late 1800s smelled like ass. Somebody might try to argue that with me. But if you spray perfume and nobody has put deodorant on and everybody's funky, it's going to smell like someone sprayed to cover a fart, but you're still going to smell the fart. Like, it's the way I tell my kids. The late 1800s always smelled like somebody tried to Febreze a fart. You still smell it, but you also smell what they tried to cover it with. So,
is that on your tests?
Actually, yeah, I put it on one of my last tests because they said, Mr. Hall, you say stuff like this, it's never on the test. And then all of a sudden, describe the aroma of the late 1800s. And one of the kids stares up from the computer, like it's only my dual enrollment classes.
Yeah.
So like this one child I've taught all 4 years in high school looks up at me, makes direct eye contact, and then does this.
At this point, he's mouthing the words, fuck you.
And I stare directly at my child that I teach, that I have loved forever at my school and go, deal with it.
And that kid, Michael Jordan.
No. What the fuck? Anyway, so
Michael B. Jordan.
Here's the deal:
B. Jordan.
The hotel was extremely successful, but as hot springs grew, as more bathhouses were built, they originally raised down the original building and built a 300-room hotel in 1893.
Why wouldn't they just say lowered?
Because it's raised RAZE, which means they bulldozed it down.
So they got rid of the old building and then
they built a brand new 300-room on the spot. Now, at this point, something that y'all had not seen, because when you go to hot springs, the bathhouses are, here's the road, there's the bathhouse. The westbound lane of Central Avenue and the first 10 feet of any of the yards past the sidewalks in hot springs in front of the bathhouses used to be the Hot Springs River. So it was a 15-foot drop off the side of the road to the river, and you would walk across planks to all these things. So to get to the Fordyce, you had to go across a drawbridge.
Your dogs would take that 15-foot drop like a hoss. Just jump in it. Don't they?
Now, fun fact is there's a whole series of YouTube channels now because the road covers it and the sidewalk covers it.
Yeah.
There are people who regularly get arrested in hot springs because they urban X the Hot Springs River because it runs underneath Main Street. So they will like put on their gear, like even have like rebreather or scuba tanks, because there are spots that are like
actual just underwater and you cannot.
Well, no, it's the Hot Springs River is like 90% of it is like 5 foot deep, which means I call that a creek.
Yeah.
But there are spots, because it has been made very narrow, that has become very deep and cut deeply, so it's steep. So
it's like the River Thames.
Like you could, it's one of those like you're walking, everything's fine, and all of a sudden, whoop, and then you got to pop back up. So people do have stuff because there's a chance you will end up dipping,
stuck in the dip and drowning.
Yeah, if you didn't have some type of air device.
That's fun.
Isn't it hot?
It's actually quite warm, yes.
They just check out through the really hot water?
Yeah. Look, dude, this is not what I'm going to do. I have a whole thing about being in water with a roof over my head.
Yeah, this is already an enclosed space.
Like, I don't want to deal with cave water, and all I'm hearing is I'm going to go underneath hot springs for like a whole mile and a half and be...
So these people are going in hot cave water.
Yeah.
that has surprise dips.
Yes.
For
That you-
fun?
Yeah. Also, all
White people, man.
all the
whole
buildings
bunch
that
of
are on,
white people.
all the buildings that are on the opposite side of Central Avenue from the Arlington have access to them, because like if you go to the Wax Museum that's almost directly across from the Arlington, they will, if no one's in the women's restroom, which now they say they have no public restroom, so I think it's just part of the tour, is they will open up the broom closet in the women's restroom and take you down a very short pair of stairs, and you can see the Hot Springs River, because when that was the Seven Club or the Luck Club, whatever it used to be, you could go down there and run away from the cops, because there was a pathway along the south side of the creek or the river. And there was actually another building down the road that had a bowling alley that could only be accessed through the tunnel.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they bust up the casino because like, are you drinking? Only sarsaparilla? And like everybody else, like here's fucking Scarface just bowling for fun, like 5 buildings down the road.
Don't worry about the literal cocaine in my beverage. It's the alcohol that's the problem.
Right. Now, see, where was it? The second Arlington was built in the Spanish Renaissance style, which was a blend of Gothic and Italian Renaissance styles with a lot of arched ceilings, pointed archways, and they had corner towers, making it almost resemble a fort. Now, there are images that you can find of this, but there's only pictures of the exterior and one picture of the lobby of the second version of the Arlington.
It's because the rooms didn't exist.
Now, it was a 4-story red brick building and had a basement that did have access to the river.
It was an imaginary.
It had a ballroom, and the grand entryway had a glass dome. There was a ladies' pink parlor.
Ooh.
However, in 1923, the building burned to the ground.
That's usually how it goes.
Yep. Sounds like the 40s.
20s.
Oh, sounds like the 20s.
Now, the current
Depression,
current building that we have all seen,
yep,
going through Hot Springs, was built in 1924
Mm-hmm.
at the Y intersection at the end of Bathhouse Row, and the original building site is now known as the Arlington Lawn, which is across the street. So that big grassy area between Superior Bathhouse and the Arlington, that is where the original Arlington Hotel was.
Okay.
Was in that giant, like, green grassy field that we saw people and their dogs rolling around in.
Okay.
So we have walked by where the original site was. Now, the new building is built in the Spanish Colonial Revival style with 11 floors. It is a strikingly massive building at the end of Bathhouse Row that makes it hard to miss, and they intentionally put it there as basically a status statement. Like, they built it and you cannot miss it.
So they were like, fuck you, we got money.
It's not so much that we have money, it was more we built it here and you're going to notice, because all the bathhouses...
Witness me.
Yes. All the bathhouses were just that. They were a bathhouse. They did not have a room you could stay in. And on the other side, there was a bunch of small hotels, a bunch of small rooms. And past the Arlington, there were 1 or 2 smaller hotels.
Right.
So they made this one big grand place to stay that is not only a bathhouse, but a hotel.
That's the second Arlington.
Okay.
Thank you for pulling up a picture for him to see, because
oh, that's beautiful.
it did not save. Now, the original room count from this large striking building was 560 rooms, and it had what was called the Crystal Ballroom because they had a number of crystal chandeliers and large plate glass windows. Now, over the time, the ballroom has been converted into different spaces. And also, due to renovations, there are now only 478 rooms because they have made several large staterooms instead of just the regular standard residence room. Now, they have full amenities for men and women in spas for bathing needs, massage needs, and therapeutic needs. However, they are separated based upon sex. So there is a men's side and there is a women's side.
That's sexist.
Okay. My wife got me
My wife.
got me a massage in the men's parlor. And I'll be honest, when I walked in there, I didn't want to see what I saw. And I know any woman of anything above the lowest standard of anything would not want to be in there either, because when your tummy covers your wiener, I don't want to see you naked, but I don't know if I can actually consider you naked. I didn't want to see it, dude. Like someone Peter grip, like someone like. So I walk in.
Now look,
I walk in, and all of a sudden they go, "Here's Mr. Thomas. He's going to help you." So here's this 60-year-old man who just comes out. "Yes, I'm going to help you." I'm like, I feel incredibly uncomfortable about this immediately. And then all of a sudden I'm going to take you to the changing room. So I change. I put on my robe. Everything's fine. He hands me a cup of water. We go sit down. He goes, "Are you uncomfortable?" I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "Does this feel racist?" "Yes, it does." He goes, "Thank you. All these old fat fucks in here. Don't act like it is." And then he walks off. And I'm like, what the fuck am I dealing with right now? But then all of a sudden, another dude, like I'm sitting here like I got my robe on. I still got my undies on underneath my robe. And then here's just this like 60-year-old man that, like I said, Peter Griffin, the tummy has Dunloped down the thighs. So if he was naked, I couldn't see it. So it wasn't like the problem of like every old dude at the natatorium just like putting one foot up on the bench and tries to have a conversation with
swanging.
And he comes like this dude goes, "You doing all right, son?" Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm like, I didn't want to see it, like the number of things I cannot unsee from the bathhouse in the back of the Arlington. And all I can think of is, I'm really glad they have this separated between men and women, because there'd be a woman that would walk in and go, "Well, goddamn, I hate everything about this." And I'd be like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm with you."
Lord.
I'd also be worried of, lift that belly. Let me see that neck.
Okay,
let me go spelunking.
Let's move on.
See, like that would make me like, I need to leave. I need to go to church. Any case, so I'm just gonna say, bathhouse experience for me was personally just slightly
uncomfortable.
Well, uncomfortable because the number of dudes who will just walk around naked like they are God's gift to everybody make me feel slightly better about myself. But any case, so they got the bath amenities. In 1955, central air was installed. Beforehand, this made the rooms incredibly dangerous, especially up on the 11th floor. You would open the dormer or the laurels above your door, and then open your window fully, and then ask your neighbor across the way to do the same. Also, all the original doors had slats, like a shutter, so that air could go through it. So your room was never fully closed off from the hallway. There was very little privacy. Today there's central air.
That's good. Yeah.
The original manually operated elevator is still in use in the bathhouse. I will tell you, it is absolutely 100% terrifying. It goes up to the 7th and 8th floors from the base floor. I cannot fit in the elevator with anybody else.
It's that
like Jed mentioned earlier, we're chunky.
Yeah.
Jed and I are chunky. The thing is, I am broader than the doorway into the original elevator. And if there is a dude operating it and myself, nobody else is getting in that elevator, and that includes my suitcase.
I'm just going to take the stairs.
Yeah.
No, that's the original one. They do have modern elevators that will fit up
just going to take the stairs. Like, I'm scared now.
Okay,
like,
this is not. Here's the thing. This is the thing.
that.
I did not ride the original elevator because also it had the grate that you close.
Oh, you get the grate.
You close the grate on the inside, and they close the glass door on the outside. And so, like, as you're going up, you're just watching bricks pass directly in front of your face. And here's like the little old dude that they've paid to operate the Death Vader, who's like, "If it falls, I'm 78. I've lived a good life, bitch.
I'm here."
And I'm over here going,
I'm 38. Make it not fall.
okay, hey, Peepaw, I'd prefer not to die on like a celebration of my anniversary. Other days we might live, we die, we live again. Like we might hit the bar and then just mess with the spook elevator, but like no. So, so the original elevator is still there. Modern elevators were installed in the 60s for everybody's convenience.
That's good. I like everybody's convenience.
Next to the elevators is the traditional mail slot. So all the way from the top floor, the 11th floor, down to the lobby, there is a chute that you can drop a letter in, and it will go all the way down to the mailroom.
Oh, that's no longer going to be useful soon.
Oh, no. I absolutely love it because no one was dropping letters in there while we stayed. What were they dropping? Coins. So all of a sudden, I'm waiting for the elevator to go by in the lobby, which is technically the second floor of the building. And all of a sudden, flink, flink, flink. Somewhere up above, there's a kid that's about to get his ass beat for doing
something. Just throwing fucking coins.
Just throwing, I was expecting like a Pokemon card to go to shiny Charizard. Now, before I get to the rest of the bottom floor, what is on the same level or slightly below street level is a small shopping center. Within it is currently a barber shop, milkshake shop, bookstore, vinyl store, massage parlor, facial and nail salon, as well as the exercise facility for the hotel, which is really weird because you look through the door and it looks like 1950s, 100% 1950s shopping center.
Yeah.
And then there's completely new Peloton equipment inside this room that has not the equipment
is
new.
1950s, but with modernized equipment.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I love me a good facial.
I'll say.
Am I right, gamers?
I'll say this.
Gamers.
I will say this: the bookstore, super dope because we found a book of myths and legends for both my children that include shit like Selkies.
Oh, Selkies are the best.
Now, let me talk to you about a few famous guests that have stayed at the Arlington.
You?
Yes, me and my wife.
My wife.
Barbara Streisand.
Oh, cool.
Tony Bennett.
That's cool, yeah.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Yoko Ono.
That's cool.
Bill Clinton.
Hmm.
John Wayne.
Okay.
And George H.W. Bush. As well as W.
I mean, war crimes, kind of personality.
However, the most famous of all the guests who have ever stayed at the Arlington is our good friend, Al Capone.
Oh, hell yeah, buddy.
Who would go to the Southern Club. That's what it was at the time. The Southern
Gangsta
Club that was
boy.
across the street that is now the associated loosely with Madame Tussauds Wax Museum that had taken...
We met her once at a party with Madame Tussauds.
Madame Tussauds might have been there.
When we went...
I read about Madame Tussauds in a books, and now I have my own.
It's like Madame Josephine Tussauds. It's not like Madame Tussauds is the wax company. Madame Josephine Tussauds, they put her middle name or her name in there. But the thing is, when we went, they had a Donald Trump and a Joe Biden wax figure, but it was George W. and H.W. Bush with different wigs on. They just recycled other wax figures, and it looked so
you can't.
bad.
Okay, so
You can't just make a new wax figure every 4 years, Hewitt.
okay, did you ever hear about Disney World doing something?
Yeah, with the
in 20
Hillary.
Yeah,
that looked
so
supposed to be
in
Hillary.
2016,
Yeah.
when Donald Trump won first, apparently, they thought Hillary was going to win, so they already had the Hillary robot made.
Yeah, for
And
the
then Donald
American
Trump
History
won?
robot thing, yeah.
So they just remade Donald Trump with the Hillary.
That's what they say. I think it was just done poorly, and they've never.
No, I like this.
They've
phrase
never.
about it.
They've never fixed it. That's the great thing is they've never fixed it. Now, so Al Capone's the most famous. Supposedly, there are secret tunnels that connect the Southern Club to the Hot Spring Rivers, as well as to the hotel. You can also rent the Al Capone suite on the 4th floor. So the next time we go to Hot Springs, I'm going to say we rent the entire suite that is listed as the Capone suite. Now, there's also the presidential suite. There is the George Bush suite and the John Wayne suite.
Al Capone suite.
Yeah.
So we got the racist suite right there.
Yeah.
Well, you don't
Now,
know Al Capone
so
wasn't
let's-
racist.
no,
Now,
I was talking about John Wayne.
Now, I've gotten through the history. I've gotten through the architecture. This is, in theory, a podcast about the supernatural and weird shit. So let me talk to you about the ghosts.
Oh, damn, we're here now.
Yeah,
yeah.
30 minutes in?
Yeah, 30 minutes in.
30 minutes
Let's do
in. Now
this.
let's talk about ghosts and spooky shit. Wait, who wants to talk about kids for another 30 minutes?
Wait, can I just throw in one random fun fact about
Yes.
hot springs? And this is something I learned on the ghost tour, so it kind of segues into spooky stuff. But Hot Springs, Arkansas, was the only place to ever have, and obviously it faded away into non-existence, a drive-through not cemetery, but
Funeral parlor.
funeral parlor. The drive-through funeral parlor where they
That's
would
some crazy shit.
they would put the body on display in a window, and you would just drive through like McDonald's, pay your respects, and keep going.
It's a liquor store now.
That's crazy to
sense.
me. That's so crazy.
It's
You know what?
wild
That's a
how-
fact I love. That is a fact I 100% love. Just like Hot Springs is where you can go watch robots fight.
I
Yep.
love, like, back in the day when, like, people would just do the most morbid shit, most fucked up shit, in the sense that they were like, oh yeah, this body, it's unclaimed. Okay, let's fill it up with wax and put it in a museum. And there was, like, a body that just traveled, like...
And ended up in a Santa Monica Pier haunted house.
Yeah, it's like, this is a real fucking body. That
Like, it was
just
a dude
ended
that
up-
got shot by, like, I think it was a dude that got shot by Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, well, I forget who it was.
Unclaimed.
Just an unclaimed body that just went through so much. It was even in like
This
Hollywood.
only means that his family and friends don't know where he is. It doesn't mean
What
it
happened?
doesn't
They're
mean
just
anything
watching
else.
a John Wayne film. It's like, is that Earl right there?
It doesn't
Is that
mean
Grandpa?
anything else.
His grandpa in a John Wayne
They
movie.
never knew where he was and never got around to finding him. And the poor dude got waxed up and shipped around America.
He was in a Meryl
Like,
Streep movie.
Just the shit that people would do back, especially like in the more morbid stuff with like bodies and shit. They'd just be like, "Yeah, we're just gonna do some crazy shit." You know, we had to have drive.
Yeah,
through,
you know what? I gotta say this:
or
we
just-
eventually gotta go see the Mutter Museum just to knock out that morbidity.
Fucking drive through funerals. It's like you're just
Yeah.
having your loved one like plugged up and just sitting there waving like this as you drive
That'd
through.
be great.
I don't want to set the world.
And they're just doing,
on
like,
fire.
They're like weekends at burning.
But
your
I
fucking
do.
So let's talk about the ghosts. So let me knock out the standard issue thing that everybody says they hear or see: orbs, cold spots, shadows, people,
Mhm.
lights flickering, water turning on and off, and footsteps, etc. in the hallway. So the standard, this place haunted things. So let's get into a little bit of specifics. So there are rumors that within the hotel there are walled off rooms that are no longer accessible because of the terrible acts that occurred within them. Employees have said that they have heard in these interior rooms doors slam and talking or people moving around in rooms that you could not access because they were closed off.
I didn't know your sound was on.
I didn't know my sound was on too because I had it on silent when you tried to call me earlier.
This is normal for our podcast.
Yeah, it's 100%. Chris is going to leave this in here just so he can leave
It's
that.
normal for the podcast. He keeps fucking doing this. I have to fucking edit it out every fucking time.
Now, there's also rumors that there were sealed off rooms that used to be built into the mountainside on the back side of the hotel.
Backside.
Now, the staff were regularly told not to tell anyone the ghost stories until 2015. This part is 100% true that they were told, do not tell anybody that is coming to this hotel that something odd, something spooky, or something weird happened. This is standard for a lot of hotels because if all of a sudden you say it's haunted, you're going to attract a certain clientele and alienate 90% of the other people out there. Like, we would show up at the haunted hotel.
I was gonna say you're just talking about us, aren't
Yeah,
you?
like we will show up at the haunted hotel, and the person at
Feel
the front,
targeted.
like, oh, here's the front desk would look at all three of us and go, "Yeah, y'all are here to stay in the haunted room, aren't you?" It's like, we just booked a regular room. All right, we're gonna put you in the haunted room. We're looking at all of you. Yeah,
I'd
regular
like to stay
room.
in the room adjacent to the haunted room because I like to live.
I don't want to deal with no spooky. So like,
I want to have a good
I'm
night.
seeing three middle-aged men that all have beards and are wearing black. I'm assuming you are ghost hunters. We're putting you in the spooky room.
Look, middle age assumes that I'm going to die at 80. I'm going to die way before then.
One of you is in late middle age.
One of y'all is approaching old age.
Just letting you know.
One of you is decrepit already and will
I'm
join
letting
the
you know.
ghosts.
I'm not making long-term plans here because
Now, one of the chandeliers in the Venetian room, which is the former Crystal Ballroom that was built in this building, has been known to increase in brightness and has been rewired several times. No matter how many times it's rewired, it will fluctuate in light while the rest of the chandeliers in the ballroom do not adjust.
How many old places have Venetian ballrooms? I've always heard that. Have
Now,
you ever heard that?
Yes,
Like Venetian?
it's because it makes it sound fancy. Like if you said the Parisian room, the Parisian lounge.
It's always in America. You never hear that in other places.
Like the men get a saloon, but then you guys like make something fancy for the ladies, and all it means is we added one extra fluffy couch.
We
Yeah.
got to make it European.
it's about.
It's a salon, not a saloon.
Do you see how the footboards look in this room? That's Venetian. That's why it's Venetian.
Do you see how this room is flooded? It's Venetian. Now, room 824. Books have been thrown off the shelves, and lights will flicker and turn on and off fully at 3 a.m. Room 443, the Capone Suite. Random smells of cigars. This is a non-smoking hotel now. Have been heard. The doorknob to the adjoining room has been known to turn and rattle on the door to shake. However, there is only a wall on the other side of that door now because the other room is now also a different suite. So they left the door for the aesthetic, but if you were to actually open the door, which is locked, it is a brick wall. So, but people have heard it rattling and seen the handle turned. Several guests have reported feeling unwelcomed in the suite and to be woken up around 3 a.m. by the sounds of people talking, planning, and arguing, several talking about the Southern Club. Also, there has been the report of a black figure, like a shadow figure in this room.
Why do figures got to be black?
Standing by the side of your bed, because apparently that's what they do. Also, let's be honest, who's staying? Let me go ahead and say this. Who's staying at this hotel?
White people.
All white people.
White people.
Look, all I gotta say, in the afterlife, we're all black.
We're all black in the afterlife.
If I'm lucky.
Well, I mean, your soul. If you have a soul, Jed, you know that it's black because your soul at least has rhythm, even though your body don't.
He is a bass player.
I'm a bass player. That's true.
Oh, God, no, all I can think of is a bad South Park joke.
That's exactly what happened to me.
It's like, here, play this.
They're
It's
like,
I
I can't play bass. I'm like, there's a bass guitar in your house. They're like, nah, what? And
And then you look in the closet.
there was, and then I looked at one book, and all of a sudden I can play bass. I'm like, this is easy. And people are like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh.
So, also room
Bump,
7,
bump.
room 723, reportedly has people notice ghostly footprints appear in the carpet, either red or white, as if left by powder or blood. That 50-50 shot on if you get bloody footprints or you get like somebody's feet were ashy and they covered them and they
I
just
thought
left
you were
powder.
going to say another fluid. But...
Now, supposedly on the 7th floor, a woman in white. Yeah, the cum.
Can we not go to the sticky footprint room? I don't want.
Someone got a foot job and
I
went
don't want
walking
this.
around.
I don't want the footprint room. That's gross.
Wow.
So anyway,
It smells
723.
musty in here.
So also there's a ghostly woman seen on the 7th floor. People have reported being pushed, poked, and having their hair pulled on the 7th floor. 7th floor is also the floor that accesses the bifurcated pool that is built into the side of the mountain.
That doesn't... Oh, okay.
So one level of the pool is here, and then the other level of the pool is here. There is no slide between them. Like I thought when you tell me there's a 2-level pool, there's a slide or there's something cool. No, it is just part of the pool's here, and then they built the other part of the pool here. So they really have 2 small pools and a bar that's never open.
Of course.
Because Emily and I stayed there 4 days, and the bar was never open. And it was a weekend through part of it, and the bar was not open.
Get your shit together.
Well, I don't know, man. Like the number of people that were in there, that if they had had one pina colada, that could have made the pool inappropriate, like the hot spring that we went to.
Maybe the concierge of the hotel had assigned someone to work the bar, but he didn't know that someone was a ghost.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Haunted pool bar, boys.
What are these white footprints everywhere? They're nice and gooey.
Now, also, there's been reports of a soldier seen bathing in the men's bathhouse. There's a
Is
ghost.
he just chilling in there? Is he just?
Now, let me say,
bathing, how do they know he's a soldier?
because he still has his World War II hat on. Because during World War II, when the medical hospital up the hill, the one that you were talking about at the beginning of the podcast, some
Which
of
is very haunted. By the way,
I'm
That's
gonna
a
say,
whole other thing.
I'm gonna. I didn't do that one because I started seeing number of personal testimonies. Like, oh shit, yeah, I'm coming back to this. But no, the overflow from the Navy hospital up the hill did find its way during World War II into the Arlington, as well as multiple hotels in the region.
Yeah.
But
So
the
he's
reason they
like
say he's a
hats
soldier
out,
is you
dicks
can
out.
still see his cap, and he's just in one of the soaking tubs because he is supposed to have been injured on his leg or.
So yeah,
I can
and-
get
and
with this ghost.
for the listeners, the Arlington is haunted with I'm not gonna say nice ghosts, but with ghosts that are not necessarily all troubled.
They're just chill.
The military hospital, which the bottom floor was used as a mass grave site for the insane people who were stored at the military hospital, and stored is a polite way to say it, is the bad kind of haunted. The kind of haunted that hurts you at night.
It was also a Votech for a while, so I'm pretty sure
Oh,
there's
cool.
some residual
oh,
anger from that too. But let's see. There's also supposedly on the fourth floor a ghostly bellhop from the 1920s that is supposed to offer to take your bags and then disappear. So if you have this dude that looks like he's in 1920s clothes, say he's going to take your bag away, and then you just walk off, you're going to come back to your bag still being in the exact same spot. So I
Okay.
like this ghost. I personally like the
I like
cheeky
the
ghost.
That's a cheeky ghost.
Okay, I thought it was like a ghost that would like take your bags and you don't see him again. I would just be like, "That's a college student just fucking with you."
Yeah.
That's a
Now
cheeky-
let's
Note
get
to self: dress up like an old
Old
1920s
bellhop.
bellhop and just
Let
Can
me
I
see
take
your
bags?
luggage.
Now, here's
Take
my
it back to
okay.
the
Let's
place.
say this.
Take it
All
back.
of us see a 1920s bellhop. That's a ghost, or a dude dressed up as a cowboy. It's not cowboy times.
A boomer
That's a
sees a
ghost.
1920 bellhop. Be like, look
Oh.
at him being in character. Here's a tip, son.
Us were like, no.
They're
Don't spend all that $5 in
They're
one
looking
place.
like Captain America handing $5 to Nick Fury in the first Avengers movie.
Here you go, boy.
Now let's get to some truth about the Arlington. Number one, there are no rooms in the mountain. There are no rooms that were built into the mountain.
that you know of.
The only thing that was built into the mountain in the last 30 years was they expanded the parking garage that is attached to the hotel into the mountain slightly so you could actually loop around instead of having to do like a 50-point turn in the narrow-ass parking lot.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
They boarded up rooms were rooms combined to make suites or rooms for modern amenities, because a lot of the original rooms on the lower floors are going to be very
Tight.
small. Also, currently, still ongoing today, there are renovations, so there are boarded up rooms on the north wing, but that is because they are being updated, because the problem with Hot Springs is the Arlington went boom! And during that time, they didn't update the room, so if you went to Hot Springs, you'd be paying standard hotel fees for a room that is older than, well, most of our parents. Now, Al Capone's room overlooks the overlooks the noisy intersection of Park and Central. So his is literally at the corner of the hotel. So the reason that you hear voices is because you're only on the fourth floor over an insanely busy street, and people are going to be walking between bars and events and haunted ghost tours, and you're going to hear voices.
Sure. Wink.
Yeah.
Now, current closed rooms, again, are closed for renovations. additionally, it is a big, old, spooky building, so why would there not be a scary story or two, or why wouldn't there be ghost stories? Literally, when you're coming down the road in Hot Springs, once you make the turn on the Bathhouse Row, you see the Arlington like it's goddamn Gotham rising at the end of the road.
Yeah.
It has
I mean,
two
it kinda
massive towers that light up now, like they have an LED show going on at the top of the towers.
It does feel like when you're going into Hot Springs, it's kind of like a Stanley Hotel situation where it's just like this ominous building in the middle of.
Now, it's again the Navy hospital that's up the hill, way scarier.
Yeah.
Because it looks like you're in Iolds High School, just looming like a gargoyle over the town. The Arlington, at least, is alive. The thing, though, is they are the exact same architecture. They have the exact same vibe. It's a big, huge building that you can't miss. Like some of the other hotels, some of the littler venues, you can pass by them, and because they're mixed in with all the other buildings, you do not know that's where Robot Death Show is.
Yeah.
But the Arlington, you can't miss. Now, let's see. It may have a ghost or two, but really, I don't think the majority of the ghost stories about the Arlington are true whatsoever. I went and stayed at a hotel. I soaked in a hot spring. I got drunk.
It has old building vibes.
It's one of those of like, I've worked in old buildings, and do you feel like something's watching you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone through many an old buildings and definitely thought, man, that looks just like a half-naked military man soaking in a tub. That's something that you misconstrue all the time.
Now, there's only 2 stories of that, and at the same time, they were made by ghost tour hosts.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
Now, here's the thing: is my last note about the ghost is the old Army Navy hospital up the hill is definitely haunted. But my thing is that am I going to say that Arlington is 100% not haunted? No, it is a super old hotel. People have died there. There's energy there. There's probably something kicking it. But do I think all these stories that they're talking about, like naked ghost bathtub man, bride walking down the hallway, weird goofy,
like,
do I think any of those are real? No.
Yeah, soldier and like girl in white dress are like kind of
like now the thing is like they said the only thing this place
cliche.
The only thing this is missing is a Confederate ghost.
Yeah,
like if it had Confederate
the bellhop thing is hilarious. I love that.
I do like. I want that one to be true.
And that one is kind of cliche, but I've never heard one where it's like kind of trolly, where it's like, yeah, I'll take your shit and just leaves it there.
Now,
that's pretty
normally
good.
ghosts are all like, move.
Yeah. Now
move.
Shut up. That was. Do you know how creepy that was, man? And then all of a sudden your whole back runs cold. You're like, well, I'm going to just butt walk.
Why didn't you move? You should have moved the first time.
Probably. Now, let me get to some modern information. The standard room is about $130-ish a night, which is 100% doable. And okay, now that is either two queens or 1 king.
Yeah.
Some of the smaller rooms will be 2 fulls.
Obviously, we get the 1 king because I like the cuddle.
We just all get into the 1 king.
We get some fart meat.
The ghost comes in.
If all 4 of us are spoons, there is no big spoon or little spoon. We're just all spoons.
And then the ghost comes in.
We just eat.
If all 5 of us are spoons,
the ghost just comes in. Oh, I'm out, dude. They're like just goes, hey, other goofoot ghost. Yep. There's like 4 dudes all in 1 king side bed.
They farting.
And it's like they're all farting. Like they all got Dollar Tree Slim Jims. I ain't going in there with my goof feet. They'll dry out. Go fart in the shower. Make it think that it was Hewitt. Lord. They'll blame him. Fart on the soap.
Fart on the soap.
Now, let's see. The historic rooms offer at the same standard, but only have a shower, which is very small, which I can attest to. My shoulders were touching all walls in the shower in the room that Emily and I had. Some rooms have a mineral bath, but it is a serious upcharge. We're looking at $150 additional for a mineral bath room.
Lord, we might as well just go back to...
Yeah, let's go to the bathhouse.
Yeah.
Go to the
Could not find the prices for the suites because you have to call and book them personally. Like they do not put the rate up online for the suites, but the Al Capone, the Reagan Suite, the Babe Ruth Suite, you have to resume them personally. Resume them. I would say we reserve the Reagan Suite just so that we can just regularly talk shit and hope Reagan's ghost shows up.
It's like, hey, Reaganomics didn't work, motherfucker.
They have a Sunday brunch for about $40 a person. Spa rates vary on massage, baths, and thermal treatments. All are for a decent price that can be found on their website. Currently, it is owned by Sky Capital Group, and since 2023, they are trying to renovate it to bring it back to its 1920s style and glory.
Ooh.
So they are trying to bring back fully the Art Deco. The problem they're running into is there are very few people who know how to actually do the masonry work and the plaster work for the Art Deco style because it's been out of fashion for so long that they haven't taught it. So there's actually 3D printing being done to replace some of the additional Art Deco decorations with concrete 3D printers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
The bar has been listed as one of the best bars in the U.S. by Esquire magazine.
Allegedly, because you didn't get to go to the bar.
I didn't go to the bar because there was too many people at it, but apparently they have a really good old fashioned and they have a good tequila sour.
Well, that's the place I want to go now.
Yeah.
So my sources are the arlingtonhotel.com.
Biased.
Hotsprings.com, news 2020, unexplained happenings at the Arlington. Frightfind.com, Arlington Resort. BoiseGhost.org resources, the Arlington, because it was a Boise Ghost is a ghost hunting crew from out of Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
And they came all the way to Arkansas. And an extremely long one. Oh, no, that is still just a continuation put onto another bullet point of the Boise ghost hunts. So that is the Arlington Hotel, guys. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go out there and say it is probably haunted by something, but not what they claim.
I'm going to say this. The next time the Brew Boys decide to go down or go up for us to Hot Springs, it's definitely a place I want to stay. And yeah, thank you for joining us, Jed, for this.
You're welcome. No, I definitely think we should stay at the Arlington next time. That and like we said, it came real close to staying there this time. I think there were a couple of things we weren't 100% sure on, so we didn't pull the trigger on it, so to speak.
Let's be honest, if we had actually stayed there, we all would have convinced ourselves, probably with the exception of Bosch, to have gone to the bathhouse and gotten a massage.
And also, we would probably ghost hunt, me and you at least.
Yeah, that's fair. We also probably would have spent time at the bar.
But thank you for joining us. And for anyone listening, we are Backwoods Obscura. We release every Tuesday. We are kind of on social media. We're kind of figuring that out in this turbulent era. But we're also Team Bonus Action.
Team Bonus Action is a charity live play, online play, and tabletop video game group. Look, we play games on the internet, and if you donate money to us, it all goes to a charity. Right now, we are not officially aligned with anybody or donating to anybody, but usually at this time of the year, we are donating either to St. Jude or the Trevor Project. So if you donate to either one of those, we would greatly appreciate it. You can also donate to the ACLU, and we would appreciate that. So if you can, please give. If you can't, we understand, because 2025 has already turned out to be one hell of a weird year. And it's not changing.
Yeah.
No.
And if you want to see us, we'll be playing every Sunday, mostly every Sunday, with these three chuckle fucks, along with Brouhaha, which we usually broadcast on Team Bonus Action.
Right.
And with that, I hope you have a good day or night or whatever time it is over there.